Long ago, in a land where the sun kissed the earth with golden rays, stood the great Baobab, a tree whose roots connected the mortal and spirit worlds. Each branch bore the tales of countless generations, whispered by the winds of the Sahara, the rains of the Congo, and the melodies of the Zulu plains. The people of the village surrounding the tree believed it was a sacred gift from the ancestors, capable of granting wisdom and balance to those who listened. Every century, the Baobab chose a keeper, a protector who would safeguard its secrets and ensure harmony between the worlds. When the revered elder keeper, Noma, passed suddenly during a night of ominous storms, the tree called out to Ayanda, a young artist known for her skeptical views on tradition. As the villagers murmured their doubts, Ayanda was thrust into a journey that would test her courage, unravel hidden truths, and ignite powers she never knew she possessed. Ayanda was not what anyone in the village expected as the next keeper. A young woman with a heart for colors and shapes, she spent her days painting the world as she saw it, free, chaotic, and unbound by tradition. Her canvases reflected sunsets of unimagined hues and figures dancing to rhythms only she could hear. On the night Noma passed, Ayanda stood outside her hut, watching as lightning lit up the skies over the great Baobab. She felt the earth tremble beneath her feet, and a voice, soft but insistent, whispered her name, Ayanda. She spun around, expecting to see someone, but found no one there. Then, like a dream, the voice filled her mind again, more urgent this time. The time has come. The balance is at risk. The ground seemed to glow faintly as her eyes were drawn to the baobab in the distance. Its symbols pulsed with a strange golden light, casting eerie shadows across the savanna. Her heart pounded as if in rhythm with the tree itself. She's just a child. She doesn't even believe in the old ways. This must be a mistake. But the elders silenced the crowd. The baobab chooses, and we do not question its will. Ayanda, however, was full of questions. Why her? Why now? And what did it mean to be the keeper? Little did she know, the answers lay hidden within the tree itself, waiting to be uncovered. But first, she would need to prove herself to the spirits of the ancestors, a journey no keeper before her had ever dared to take. The elders, though hesitant, guided Ayanda to the great baobab, where they explained that her journey had only just begun. To become the keeper, she would have to face 3 trials set by the ancestors. The first trial was to cross the River of Spirits, an ancient waterway said to be a passage between the living and the dead. It was rumored that the river could either guide one to wisdom or drown their soul in confusion. Legends spoke of those who had vanished forever, their bodies never to be found. But Ayanda, resolute and determined, was not easily dissuaded. She believed the stories, but deep down, she trusted in her own strength and the power she would soon unlock. Guided by the whispers of the baobab, Ayanda journeyed to the river's edge. The water shimmered under the moonlight, its surface rippling like the very fabric of reality. Strange figures danced beneath the water, their faces glowing with an ethereal light. Ayanda! The voice of the baobab echoed again in her mind, this time filled with warmth and a sense of urgency. You must trust the flow of the river, and it will carry you to the knowledge you seek. Taking a deep breath, Ayanda stepped into the river. The cool water lapped at her feet, but as she waded deeper, the current grew stronger. Shadows whispered from beneath the surface, but she kept her eyes fixed ahead. The river was not only a test of courage, but a reflection of her innermost fears. As she moved further into the water, the spirits beneath began to speak, each voice calling her name. They offered visions, some beautiful, others horrifying. In one vision, she saw the face of her late father, a man she had never known. In another, she saw her younger brother, who had drowned when she was just a child. The spirits tried to pull her under, but Ayanda resisted their calls. It was only when she embraced the flow of the water, letting go of the past, that the spirits ceased their whispers. The water calmed, and a path appeared in the middle of the river, leading to the other side. With steady determination, Ayanda crossed the River of Spirits and reached the shore. The first trial was complete, but she knew more challenges awaited. Ayanda's journey did not end with the river. The second trial was even more challenging. She had to face the mirror of truth. Hidden deep in the heart of the forest, the mirror was said to reflect not just the face, but the soul. Those who gazed upon it were forced to confront their deepest fears, regrets, and desires. Guided by the whispers of the baobab, Ayanda ventured into the dense forest, where the trees towered like silent watchers. The path was twisted, the air thick with mystery. Eventually, she found the mirror, a massive silver frame adorned with intricate carvings of animals, ancestors, and sacred symbols from different African cultures. The moment Ayanda stood before the mirror, it began to glow, its surface rippling like water. At first, her reflection was just as she appeared, a young woman full of potential, but still unsure of her destiny. But as she stared deeper, her reflection began to shift. She saw herself, older and wiser, standing before the villagers. They looked at her with disdain and doubt, their murmurs growing louder. Then, the vision shifted again. She was standing beside the great baobab, but the tree was withering, its branches breaking, the roots rotting. "Is this your fate?" the mirror whispered. "Do you have the strength to save the tree, to become the keeper the world needs?" Ayanda's heart raced. The vision of her brother's drowning flashed before her eyes once more, a reminder of the guilt that had haunted her for years. Her desire to honor him, to live up to the expectations of her ancestors, had always been her driving force. But now it was clear she had to face herself, truly and fully. With a deep breath, she stepped closer to the mirror, embracing the reflection, accepting her fears and her power. The mirror's glow intensified, then faded, revealing her true self, strong, unbroken, and ready for the challenges ahead. The final trial awaited Ayanda at the foot of the great baobab. She was summoned to perform the Dance of the Ancestors, a sacred ritual that connected the living with the spirits of the past. But Ayanda had no knowledge of the dance. It was a lost tradition, a dance performed only by the most skilled keepers. The village elders whispered, uncertain if Ayanda would succeed. Yet, as she stood beneath the baobab, the wind began to stir, and the ancient tree's symbols glowed brighter than ever before. In that moment, Ayanda understood. The dance was not just movement, it was the expression of all the emotions, struggles, and wisdom of her people. She closed her eyes and let the rhythm of the wind guide her. Her body moved in ways that felt both foreign and familiar, the steps growing more fluid with each passing moment. She could feel the presence of the ancestors all around her, their voices singing in her heart. As Ayanda completed the final step of the dance, the baobab's branches erupted in a burst of light. The roots deep within the earth pulsed with energy, and the tree's wisdom surged through her. The baobab had chosen her, and Ayanda was now its true keeper.